As you think about the issue that you described to folks when we did that little warm-up, where do you start in your thinking? Do you start with the presenting problem? So as an example, Larry might come to me and say, sales are down for the last quarter by 22%. Oh my gosh. So that becomes, that's the information I have at hand. Whatever your situation was, do you start there with the presenting problem, or do you back up a step or two and say, what's the bigger picture? As Paul described the economy and all the things that were going on, and now a global situation, he steps back, he looks at indicators, he looks at what's going on. Where do you start when you start thinking about your problem? Presenting, do you step back and say, what's influencing this? What are the contributing factors? Do you start with an assumption that, you know, here comes Larry again, and of course he's going to give me bad news because that's just Larry. That's an assumption that may or may not be true, but I've made it, and so I've kind of set myself on a platform to think about what's going based on that assumption. Do you start with an open mind? Now, from a leadership perspective, there are two very different schools of thought on whether you're being focused or whether you need to be broad-based in your viewpoint. If you're so broad-based, you never actually get to the point of solving a problem. If you say micro-focused on the problem, you miss all of the contributing factors. So there's a lot of discussion back and forth on focus or broad view. And actually, there's a chapter in my book that I write about expanding and contracting, how your thinking really needs to do both. You need to understand the context of where you are. And then you need to bring to bear all of the situations, influences, resources you have at solving that problem.